Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. I'm Hugh Richards. In the headlines tonight, a Skegness man is found guilty of murder, a cash boost for the Gypsy race park in Bridlington, and a new activity course near Grimsby. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Margaret Johnson about an art exhibition at Grimsby Minster. And before that, Tim Newbury on the Jeff Findon Bikeathon. A Skegness man has been found guilty of murder. 40-year-old Stephen Feely was found guilty yesterday following a trial at Nottingham Crown Court. Officers were called to a report of a stabbing at an address in Chapman Court in Skegness last December, where 29-year-old Gareth Bailey was found seriously injured. He was taken to hospital but pronounced dead a short time later. Feely is expected to be sentenced next week. East Riding Council has been awarded more than £1 million of European funding to deliver the second phase of the Gypsy Race Park. The money from the European Regional Development Fund will help the next stage of a new park that will run alongside the Gypsy Race River in Bridlington. The area will be a green corridor along the stream, providing walking and cycling routes, play areas and improved habitats for wildlife. There'll also be paths and seating. A planning application for Phase 2 will be announced at the end of the month. The former mayor of Beverley says St Mary's School in Hull dropping out of the Hull music service would be a bad move. The service is a collective of teachers based at the Albemarle Music Centre who teach orchestral and band instruments in the city's schools and colleges. Currently, 6,500 pupils are taught each week via the service. Double bassist Margaret Pinder was giving her thoughts on Hot Topic when I asked her about Hull's art scene after the Year of Culture.
There's a concern at the moment that St Mary's School is going to pull out of the Hull music service, which would be quite catastrophic for the music service. I think that would be a grave mistake, because the Hull music service does provide tremendous opportunities to children in the city, and often a lot of deprived children as well. I mean, from when I was growing up and playing in youth orchestras in this area, music really was a way out for, and also helped a lot of children who needed it.
A new activity course has opened in the village of Halton-le-Clay near Grimsby. The Trim Trail course at the 8 acres playing field includes 13 different pieces of exercise equipment, including balance beams, hurdles and monkey bars. The course was paid for by an £8,000 grant from Tesco's Bags of Health scheme, £5,000 from the local community centre and a further £10,000 from the National Lottery Awards for All. Emma Harris, clerk to Halton-le-Clay Parish Council, says she's delighted with the finished layout.
It's fantastic. It's a nice addition to the community because we don't have a lot within the village for children and teens. We've got a tiny junior playing field for sort of tots, and then we needed something for the older teens to get involved with, and this just seemed ideal for them. I've had a few reports, like on our Facebook page. I've had some messages saying what a good addition it is to the village. The teenagers seem to be getting quite a lot of use out of it. The dog walkers have seen them making use of it. There's no vandalism going on, luckily, and they're just enjoying it and appreciating what we've put in for them. We're hoping to promote the use of the equipment to fitness clubs like maybe Forces Fit or any of the other local fitness groups, because it is quite spread out around the field, and we think it would be really good for them to use and incorporate into their fitness programmes and maybe get some of the older villagers involved in it as well. It's just a good way of keeping fit and keeping active, and even families can use it on the smaller, lower pieces of equipment for younger children.
Hull and East Yorkshire hospitals have been boosted by a new intake of qualified nurses. 23 nurses from the Philippines are now working at Hull Royal Infirmary and Castle Hill Hospital in Cottingham. Hull and East Yorkshire Hospitals NHS Trust, which runs the hospitals, is struggling to recruit qualified nurses in the UK, so looking further afield to boost its workforce. The Filipino nurses have passed the practical, language and knowledge-based examinations to practice to UK standards and are working in areas including intensive care, surgical theatres and the acute medical unit. Expo is returning for another year. Expo is a series of workshops organised by Ignite. The V stands for volunteer. Ignite is the community-led programme organised by Vanel. And Vinell is Voluntary Action North East Lincolnshire. The workshops aim to inform both young people and businesses about the benefits of volunteering. The first of the workshops is already running at Grimsby Central Hall and continues until 8 o'clock this evening. Jenny Hodson of Ignite says that North East Lincolnshire has a diverse population of volunteers for the community.
The Expo is a conference that we've been running for the last 3 years. It's been a regional-wide one at the Lincolnshire Showground for the last couple of years, held with various other volunteer centres throughout Lincolnshire. Today we're here for young people and trying to encourage information about youth volunteering, work with organisations, and especially with the new GDPR regulations and everything like that, and the forthcoming changes in safeguarding and young people, which is all going to affect volunteering and how they can be involved in organisations.
So I started volunteering at the age of 13. I joined really as part of my basketball club. I was really into the sport as a child, and it developed, and I liked helping others really, and in doing it I gained a lot of social skills, a lot of friends, teamwork. There's just a lot of benefits to volunteering, and it helped me when I was younger really. This is your chance to get out there, to take that step. We don't have things like this in this area very often, and this is a fantastic opportunity for people who aren't maybe sure about what they want to do, or those that maybe know what they want to do but don't know how to get into it, to step forward and just go for it.
We would say that volunteering is never purely a selfless act. And it's perfectly acceptable and fine for people to gain something from their volunteering experience. But yes, communities benefit, organisations that are hosting the volunteers and supporting the volunteers, their experience is enriched. Reputationally, it's better for them as well. Volunteers bring lots of new perspectives and experiences that organisations may not have with their paid staff capacity. So we'd encourage people to think about volunteering, and there's always something for anyone to get involved in.
We have a lot of young volunteers. We have young people who are setting up their own projects. We have with us today the young advisors who do a lot of campaigning and work with the council. They've actually managed over the years to work with Stagecoach and get reduced funding for young people and costs on bus routes over the holidays. So they do a lot of work. But there are a lot of other organisations. With a young man called Andy Green from Counting Hope. He's set up his own international volunteering charity. So we've got everything from the international to the local focus. But there are a lot of young people in the area really interested in volunteering. We just need to try and encourage a few more organisations to see the benefit of young people.
The Jeff Finden Bikeathon takes place in Louth this coming Sunday, a ride for, it says here, occasional cyclists to raise funds for Louth and District Hospice Limited. And I'm joined now by Tim Newbury to tell me more. Tim, welcome. Thanks very much for coming in. And thanks for coming in your cycling togs. Very smart.
Yes, I haven't actually cycled into the studio today, but...
I think that would be a little far from Louth to here. But anyway, on Sunday, it's raising money for the hospice. Why is it called, just remind us, why is it called the John Finden Bikeathon?
Well, Jeff Finden was an ex-member of our club. I'm with the Cyclist Touring Club, or been rebranded the Cycling UK. And he was from Birmingham. He came in and gave great support to the local club and helped, or co-helped run the first bikeathon about 5 or 6 years ago. Sadly, he didn't survive a long illness, cancer, and passed away just before he was actually able to ride on the bikeathon itself.
Well, it's a very fine
So
thing.
it's in his memory.
Very, very fine way of remembering him. What is a bikeathon? What will be happening?
Well, actually, on the 10th of June, that's the Sunday, there will be 3 different distances for people to try. At 9 o'clock in the morning, there's a 50-mile ride. None of these are races, they're all leisure rides, but I suppose the 50-mile ride will be for those who have done some cycling before. At 10 o'clock...
Quite a lot, I'd imagine.
Yes, that's right, yes. And the route itself is initially from Louth itself. We're starting at the Meridian Leisure Centre in Louth, and the route takes them towards the coast and then back across the Wold. So it is actually quite an adventurous 50 miles.
Flat and hilly there as well.
It's a mixture of flat and hills, admittedly.
Slightly more gentle race, or slightly more gentle ride, rather?
At 10 o'clock, there's a 30-mile ride for those perhaps who haven't done quite so much cycling, and that is mostly just to the coast, mostly flat ground. And at 11 o'clock we have a 10-mile family ride, really suitable for all ages and all types to come along and try out cycling, and that goes to Rushmore Country Park to sample perhaps the cafe there for some refreshments.
That sounds extremely tempting, and as you say, it's not a race. Will there be people there sort of guiding and navigating, taking you through the course?
Certainly. The family ride, that starts at 11 o'clock, that will be led, and it's all been sort of marked, and it'll be led by experienced Cycling UK Louth members, whereas the 30 and the 50-mile rides, they won't be marked, but we'll be giving everybody a map and a guide.
How should people register if they want to take part?
To register, if people just type in search engine Cycling UK Louth, or Jeff Findon Biker, then that should get them to it. But all the forms can be downloaded from the links. Otherwise, just turn up on the day and we can give them an entry form.
Slight price to get in, just to raise the money for the charity?
For adults, it's £5. For anybody under 16, it's all free.
And that's all for the extremely good cause of the Louth District Hospice. Tim, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Join me after the break. Jack will bring us a roundup of all the latest sports news, including a new signing for Grimsby Town, and I'll be talking to Margaret Johnson about an art exhibition at Grimsby Minster. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Jack brings us a roundup of all the latest sports news, including a new signing for Grimsby Town, and Margaret Johnson will be telling me about a new art exhibition at Grimsby Minster. 8 raccoon dog puppies are now on view to the public at Sowerby Hall and Gardens. The new arrivals, born 6 weeks ago, are said to be healthy and progressing well. The litter has been parented by a female raccoon dog called Una, who arrived at the gardens last summer, and Bandit, the male adult raccoon dog. Raccoon dogs are usually found in East Asia, in forests and woodlands, and despite their similarities to raccoons, they're more closely related to dogs. 9 chocolate bars, which are more than 100 years old, went under the hammer in an auction today. They were discovered among the mementos of a First World War hero, Leicestershire Regiment soldier Richard Bullimore. The colony's gift tins were sent to troops serving in the trenches in France at Christmas 1914. Cadbury produced the chocolate bars, while the tin was made by Barringer, Wallace and Manners of Mansfield, one of the world's leading manufacturers of decorative tinware, as everybody knows. They were auctioned off at Edison's CJM Auctioneers in Scunthorpe, and they said that to find the chocolate still inside was remarkable. A series of singing workshops for members of the LGBT community starts tonight in Hull. The sessions will be led by choir leader Jack Bridges, leading to a performance as part of Hull Pride in July. Participants will be taught by ear. The repertoire includes the Pride Anthem by Michael Betteridge. The sessions will be held at Cardoma 94 on Alfred Gelder Street every Tuesday from 7:30 in the evening until the 17th of July. Now, the North Links Art Society is holding its annual exhibition at Grimsby Minster. And I'm joined now by Margaret Johnson, President of the Society, to tell me more. Margaret, thank you very much for coming in. President of the North Links Art Society. This is you're the Joshua Reynolds of the Royal Academy in these parts. When is it? It's on. Well, it goes on for a little while, doesn't it? When does it start?
It started last Saturday, and it continues until Thursday, the 14th of June, and at the Minster.
And it's a bit of a daytime thing. 10
till 4. Except on the last day, which is Thursday, when we close at 2, because we have to dismantle everything, you say, take it down.
10 in the morning till 4.
Yes, 10 in the morning till 4 p.m.
How many of your members are exhibiting this year?
Around about 40 of our members are exhibiting. They can exhibit more than one painting in different media. So each, you see from the brochure, lots of them put 3 or 4 paintings in. And we've got about 100 members, so that's pretty good to have that kind of... Not everybody comes to the art or joins an art society in order to exhibit. They join for other reasons, but it is nice to have the opportunity to show people, particularly local people, just what talent there is here in Grimsby.
Well, and I know you're going to be biased, but what talent is there here in North East, or in North Lincolnshire, North East
yes,
Lincolnshire and Northern Lincolnshire?
What talent there is? Well, you have the brochure there.
Give me an idea of what sort of styles. Am I going to be seeing lots of representational art, seascapes and landscapes, or
yes,
is it going to be abstract
that's quite
expressionism?
True. Yeah, you can do what you like, basically. You can paint in any media, so you can work in acrylics or watercolour, oil, pastel or pencil, any of those. And then you can decide your subject, maybe portraiture, maybe landscape, maybe flowers, maybe abstract. Could be mixed media, which means a little bit of everything. So there's a good variety, and it enables people to push the boundaries of their own art abilities as well.
Why do you think that this region is so rich in such talented artists?
I couldn't say, because I don't think, I just think that this area is rich in talent, full stop. This society, perhaps that's part of it, this society was actually founded in 1941, and it's still going strong. So clearly there's been a very good interest and participation in art for a very long time. I suppose we've all scribbled when we're kids, haven't we? And then it just goes away and you don't do anything about it. Possibly because you get involved in school and then your work and then your life. But it's nice because a society like this offers an opportunity for people to come and learn at the workshops that we put on, have an opportunity to display their work, meet together for social paintings, go off to various places. So it's a bit of a community thing and it's a social thing. You always know that when you go to anything like that, you don't have to worry about being shy because everybody's there for the same reason. They're all there because they love art.
And nobody's going to criticise your work by saying, I'm sorry, you can't pass, this isn't good enough, or anything like that.
No.
When you talk about workshops, how often do you have your workshops, and what sort of subjects do you have?
We bring in artists, professional artists of very high standard from all over the country come in. We may put on 1, 2 or 3 a year, just depends how things go. And once again in different media. And they're great because they enable you to enhance your own skill. You'll have the opportunity of watching a top-class artist at work. And the ones we've always had have been very amenable, very good fun, and they take the attitude, are you enjoying it? Yes, well, that's all that matters.
No, not much point if you're not enjoying this, but
no, that's how they feel about it. That's perfectly true. You should enjoy yourself.
And how is Grimsby Minster as a venue? How does that work as a gallery?
Wonderful, beautiful. The atmosphere is absolutely glorious, of course. It just is a wonderful building anyhow. And when you go into the right, and all our paintings are on there, and the lights coming through, and it's just a delight. We're so pleased and so honoured to be able to be there. We've been there a few years now, so we just put it there once a year. We have other exhibitions in other places. Laceby we've been to North Thoresby, but this is our main big one. It's the only one that we put on for a fortnight,
So it really is. I was joking at the beginning, but this is the RA summer show, isn't it?
Yes, it's not. It is a joke. You're absolutely right. The difference is that all the people who put this together are all volunteers. And as you can appreciate, putting an art show together, selecting them. Well, we don't select the paintings. You bring the paintings in, showing them, mounting them in a way that's. You just think they put them all up, but they don't. There's such a lot of care goes into how we display the paintings so that they really do look good, but it's a lot of work that goes in, and it's by volunteers, which is wonderful. Then we've got to take it, and we have to, and of course during the exhibition as well, we need to be there, of course, because the paintings are for sale, and so people have a rota, and...
Yeah, so let's hope to see lots of those little orange stickers at
well,
the
we
bottom
hope
of the
so.
place. Margaret, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Here's Jack with all the sports.
Kyle Edmund is out of the French Open. The British #1 lost in a topsy-turvy clash with Italy's Fabio Fognini in Paris over the weekend. Edmund, who grew up in Tickton near Beverley, lost 6-3, 4-6, 3-6, 6-4, 6-4 as he failed to reach the last 16 stage at Roland Garros. The 23-year-old lost in the deciding set to Fognini, who is one place above the Yorkshireman at 15th in the world rankings. The focus for Edmund now shifts to the grass court season, a surface which he hasn't performed on as well as his favoured clay court surface. Now, it's been a busy 24 hours for Grimsby Town in terms of transfer activity. The Mariners began by announcing the signing of striker Luis Robles yesterday afternoon. The 21-year-old has joined from Spanish 4th Division side San Roque de Lepe on an initial one-year deal. Robles came through the Liverpool Academy but didn't make a first-team appearance for them before joining Wigan Athletic, where he featured just the once. Manager Michael Jolly made inquiries about the player during his time in charge at Swedish side AFC Eskilstuna, and now it appears he's finally got his man. And on to other Grimsby Town news, and the club has secured the services of young prospect Max Wright. The 20-year-old midfielder has signed a new 2-year deal with Town until the summer of 2020. The club had triggered a 1-year extension on his contract at the end of the season, but Jolly is clearly keen to tie the youngster down. Grimsby-born Wright impressed on loan at Scarborough Athletic last season, scoring 15 goals and registering a further 15 assists. Meanwhile, in news just reaching us, Grimsby winger Siriki Dembele has handed in a transfer request. The club confirmed the news in a statement issued on their official website and social media channels. It stated that the player has declared his intention to leave the club, with a number of Football League clubs already declaring an interest in the 21-year-old. Dembele joined the Mariners on a 1-year deal under former manager Russell Slade last August after a successful trial. The club will demand a fee for his services, though, after triggering a 1-year extension clause in his contract of the player who scored 4 goals in 39 appearances last season. And as always, I'll bring you the very latest on that, along with all the rest of the sports news in tomorrow's bulletin. That's all for today's sport. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Jack. That's all for tonight, I'm afraid. If you'd like to contact us for any other reason, a news story, for instance, that would be very welcome. Facebook and Twitter pages are available as indicated below, or email news@estuary.tv, or call us on Grimsby 0147231 553, or write to us at Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire, DN34 5BQ. Until tomorrow from here, good evening.